most of research around autism is done by external viewers, kind of non-autistic researchers, looking at how autism presents itself to the external world. Monotropism, however, reframes this and asks what it feels like to live with that attention style. From the last video, we were looking at monotropism and how that reframed things in a really important way when it came to neurodiversity and research around autism. As a quick note, this is, I guess, the second video on monotropism, so if you want to know about the origins and why that's important and have a little bit more context, do go back and watch that first video, otherwise it kind of feels like you're joining a meeting and everybody's already mid-conversation. Importantly, you'll remember that monotropism was not developed by external non-autistic researchers. It was created by a group of autistic researchers reflecting on their lived experience. And whilst Dinah Murray unfortunately died in 2021, Wendy Lawson has continued to work on this subject. And in 2025, she released some research and some work on why monotropism and this approach is so important for neurodiversity and the future of research around autism. In this paper, Lawson argues that most of research around autism is done by external viewers, kind of non-autistic researchers, looking at how autism presents itself to the external world. Monotropism, however, reframes this and asks what it feels like to live with that attention style. It's a framework grounded in how autistic people experience learning, attention, focus and distraction. And we know that research shapes practice, it shapes so many aspects of the wider world. For decades, so many autism interventions have focused on suppressing behaviours, hiding things that don't seem normal or typical, encouraging or forcing eye contact, trying to dismiss special interests or repetitive actions, basically trying to push individuals to conform to neurotypical standards. But taking a kind of monotropic perspective, we can begin to better understand how some behaviours might just be characteristic of particular attention styles. Deep interest can support things like learning, creativity and professional expertise. Structured environments that take into account an effort to reduce external noise or distractions can help focus and reduce stress. For many people, social interactions around shared interests rather than kind of abstract topics can feel a lot more comfortable. Rather than forcing autistic people or people that would identify with a monotropic style of processing to split their attention in a way that's really distressing and overwhelming, neuroaffirming approaches increasingly ask the question, how can we make environments as stress-free and conducive to learning or working as possible? How can environments adapt to different attention styles so the individual doesn't need to adapt to the environment so much? And for me, what I find so especially powerful about monotropism is its explanatory power. For me, it was so useful to help me understand things like overwhelm and distraction, but also the difficulty I face in transitioning or switching between tasks and the exhaustion I feel with some social interactions. At the same time, it highlights a lot of strengths that many deficit-based models will inevitably miss. Sustained attention, deep curiosity, creativity, the ability to enter a state of unparalleled attention and focus. At the same time, it develops a framework for us to have conversations around what we need to achieve these states of concentration, focus and flow, and what's actively going to detract from that or add to our cognitive load. And we'll know by now that monotropism is just one idea or one concept under the huge umbrella of neurodiversity that's helping us to understand how everybody is different, and yet some people face more barriers than others. Understanding quite how diverse and quite how vast the difference is between each and every one of us is a really important part of understanding why miscommunications or misunderstandings arise, and how we navigate those when ultimately we are all as different from each other as everyone else. And if you're anything like me, where you're thinking, yeah, okay, we are all as different from each other as anyone else, but why does it feel like some of us, particularly neurodivergent people, get excessively penalised for the way that we communicate or process information? Damien Milton's idea of double empathy, again, has huge explanatory power here, and I'm really excited to share that with you in our next video. I'll see you there.